Hi everybody. Today is Module 3, Lesson 5, using the identity and inverse to write equivalent expressions. Students will be able to write equivalent expressions. So the title uses the words identity. Identity is when you add a quantity to zero. The sum is itself. Think about that. Your identity is yourself. Identity is when you add to zero, you keep that same quantity. Multiplicative inverse is a very fancy way of saying reciprocal. Reciprocal, remember, is the flip of a number. So the multiplicative inverse of 6 is 1 over 6, 1/6. The multiplicative inverse of 1/7 is 7. Let's skip ahead a few pages and find where it says example 1, A. All right. Write the sum and then write an equivalent expression by collecting like terms and removing parentheses. So it tells me 2x and negative 2x plus 3. It wants me to find the sum. So where the word and is, I change to plus. And after the word and is a group that I'm adding to 2x, so I have the parentheses around it. 2x plus negative 2x is 0. So I have 0 plus 3 is 3. Let's do this next one together. I have a group of 2x minus 7, and I am adding the opposite of 2x. Well, again, 2x minus 7 plus negative 2x. 2x plus negative 2x is 0. And then I still have the minus 7, and all that equals 7. I ran out of room. The opposite of, so negative sets of 5x minus 1, and I'm adding to that because I'm finding the sum, 5x. So what is the opposite of 5x? Negative 5x. What is the opposite of subtract 1? Add 1. And I'm still adding on the 5x. So negative 5x and positive 5x makes 0 plus 1 all equals 1. So I would like you to pause the video. All right. Don't pause it yet. You know you need directions first. Sorry. Multitasking is not working for me today. All right. So I would like you to try A, B, and on the next page, C, D, E, just like we did above. All right. Now you can pause the video. Okay, let's check out A and B. Did you get for A, 4B, and for problem B, 1? And then the next page, a negative 5, a T, and a 7. How'd that go for you? Make sure that you rewatch the example that I showed you, that I walked you through, if you need to. Jot down any questions. I always give you a chance to ask questions. All right, now let's continue on. So if I have 3/4 and I multiply it by 4/3, let's think about that. 3/4 multiplied by 4/3. You can either cross simplify, get rid of the 3's, those become 1's, get rid of the 4's, those become 1's. So the whole answer is 1. Or you could say 12 over 12. But the answer is 1. 4 times 1/4. That becomes 4 over 4, which is 1. 1/9 times 9 is 1/9 over times 9 over 1. 9 over 9 is 1. Have you noticing a pattern? When you multiply by the reciprocal, the product is 1. So let's see what happens here. We are not going to justify. Yay, the pen is working again. So the multiplicative inverse of 1/5 is actually 5. The reciprocal, multiplicative inverse is reciprocal of 1/5 is 5. And it wants me to find the product. So that means I need to multiply by 2x minus 1/5. Well, when I do that, I get 5 sets of 2x, and I get 5 sets of 1/5. 5 sets of 2x is 10x. 5 sets of 1/5 is 1. So we're still distributing, but we have to realize that the multiplicative inverse is the reciprocal. Let's try the next one. The multiplicative inverse of 2. Multiplicative inverse of 2 is 1/2. So that means I have I'm trying to find the product. So 1/2 sets of 2x plus 4. Half of 2x and half of 4. So half of 2x is 1x, which is just x. Half of 4 is 2. So the multiplicative inverse of 2 and the grouping of 2x and 4 is x plus 2. We're going to skip C. So I would like you can cross out, justify each step, okay, just like we did in the examples. I would like you to try A, B, and C. I think you can do it. Go ahead, pause the video, and give it a shot. All right, let's check out the first one. The reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. So I do 1/3 multiplied by the negative 6y minus 3x. Change the subtraction to add the opposite. Distribute the 1/3. And I get a final answer of negative 2y minus x. Actually, that's not in standard form, is it? That really should be negative x. Whoop, wrong color. Negative x minus 2y. I'll take any of those three answers. The multiplicative inverse of 4 is 1/4. So I do 1/4 multiplied by the 4h minus 20. Change the subtraction to add the opposite. Distribute the 1/4. And I work my way through, and I get h minus 5. The multiplicative inverse of negative 1/6 is negative 6. So negative 6 sets of 2 minus 1/6j. Change the subtraction to add the opposite. Distribute the negative 6. And I get negative 12 plus j. Standard form, j minus 12. So I know there's some fraction work here. It concerns some of you. Don't freak out. I really think you can handle this. Rewatch the video if you need to. Jot down your questions, and I will see you in class. Bye.